Guess what? The McRib is back. And today's video is only loosely inspired by that because I'm taking the flavors, the textures, and the components of a McRib and I'm flipping it into a pizza. Now here's the deal, I've made ribs on this channel, so if you want to learn how to make the ribs that I'm using in today's recipe, then go and check out all those rib recipes. And I'm going to use that rib recipe and the rib meat to go atop this McRib inspired pizza. And everybody knows the first step to making any pizza is activating the yeast and warming the water. We're going to get this water to 115 degrees, no more, no less. I got my trusty laser gun here, because if it was too hot, it will burn the yeast and kill it. And if the yeast is too low, then it'll take too long to activate the yeast, and we only have a couple minutes here as you're watching it. I actually have all the time in the world. In order to get the yeast to really start activating, you need to feed the yeast. Now while the yeast activates, let's mix the dry ingredients. So I'm gonna combine some all-purpose flour with a little bit of salt in a bowl of a stand mixer. Our yeast has been activated. You can see it's nice and frothy and rather large. And we're gonna mix it all together until a dough forms. Add a little bit of olive oil. All right, the dough has pulled together. All the ingredients are well incorporated. I'm just gonna turn it out for a few seconds on this flat surface, then put it back in this bowl, cover it, and let it double in size. All right guys, now that the dough is done, it's time to make some barbecue sauce. This is gonna be used as the pizza sauce. All right, so in this we're gonna add some ketchup, mustard, add a little bit of honey, apple cider vinegar for some tartness. We got some granulated onion powder, granulated garlic powder as well, and brown sugar, a little bit of water, liquid smoke. This is of the hickory variety. Now hit it with some salt and pepper. And then dare I say I'm going to whisk that bad boy. Just to really drive home this pizza flavor and also just to thicken up this sauce a little bit, let's add some tomato paste. Oh yeah, this is a really nice looking color. Got some ribs right over here. Pork ribs, which is what the McRib is made out of. Now, all I'm gonna do is remove the meat from the bone and then kind of put it in here. I'm gonna treat it kind of like a pulled rib situation because I'm putting it on top of the pizza later on. If I listened to when people said don't play with your food, I'd have no career. We got all of our rib meat right over here. Look at this, doesn't it look glorious? So I'm gonna continue to pull it apart to kind of get the consistency of pulled pork. Dough is done. We're gonna roll it out using a little bit of cornmeal just to get a little bit of that crunch on the outside, and then we're gonna start building this pizza. I bet you didn't know I had that trick. Before I start dressing this, I'm gonna hit the edges with a little bit of an egg wash. The reason I'm doing that is so that I can sprinkle on the sesame seeds and the cornmeal, and then when it cooks, it'll all cook together. Barbecue sauce goes on next. Now goes the mozzarella cheese. Before popping this in the oven, I'm gonna add the rib meat. There's no right way to do this, so I'm just gonna go for it. I'm literally just like littering the rib meat on top. I mean, it looks awesome already. Why isn't there more rib pizzas? It's time, guys. This goes in the oven for roughly 10 minutes at 450, and we can start dressing it with the rest. At first glance, coming straight out of the oven, this thing looks, it smells, it just reminds me of a McRib in every sense of the word. I'm gonna cut it up, then I'm gonna dress it with some raw onions and some pickles. Now the thing is, when you're having a McRib, is the onions and the pickles aren't cooked. So I'm trying to really drive that home here, which is why I'm adding them after we cook the pizza. So with that being said, ouch, it's hot. Look at this thing. My interpretation of a McRib pizza. Standard issue pizza dough, sesame seed crust, barbecue sauce, pizza sauce, topped with mozzarella, topped with pulled rib meat. I then baked it in the oven and added raw onions and pickles on top. As far as pizzas go, this thing looks incredible, but the message wasn't make an incredible pizza. The message was, can I make a pizza that reminded me of a McRib? And there's only one way to find out. The smokiness of the barbecue sauce that's coming through from the actual sauce on the pizza is really, really, really present. There's also some tomato-ness of that via the ketchup and the tomato paste. Not to be outdone with the pulled rib meat that's caramelized on top of it. It's providing some chewiness. It's also providing some crunchiness. Speaking of crunchiness, I decided to leave the onions and the pickles out of the bake so that not only will it give me some crunch from the raw vegetables, but when you eat a McRib, the onions and the pickles aren't cooked. Winner, winner, McRib dinner. If there's something else you want to see me make, if there's something else that you love eating at a fast food restaurant but you want to see my take on it, leave a comment down below. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you want to become a recipe champion in your own home, head over to recipechampions.com for all my published recipes.